Let me get my mic. Okay, there we go. Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hi, everybody. Hello, Miss and Miss Sanctuary. I got your approval notice today. Got the approval notice today. Got your approval notice today. Hi, everyone. Come on in. Say hello. Happy Tuesday. Hello, Jim Crate. How are you? Hi, everyone. Come on in. Say hello. Come on in. Say hello. Come on in. Say hello. Come on in. Y'all, I cannot believe that this month is almost gone. Let me wipe this a little bit on Facebook and YouTube. Sorry, I should have done that before. Hi, TikTok family. Hi, everybody. Hey, Instagram people, Facebook, YouTube. How's everybody doing? Hey, Miss Peggy. Hello, Miss Tola. How are you? Welcome on board. Choo choo. Does anyone, if you have sons, well, I guess it depends on what your children invested in, quote unquote. But I almost can go out on a limb and say, if you've got sons and when they were much younger, or those who have sons that are much younger now, when I just said choo choo, remember Thomas the Train? Is that brand still is the brand still in circulation? Thomas the Train. Does anybody have any son who is into trains? I guarantee you your house is filled with Thomas the Train characters. I Thomas the Train. I can guarantee that yes, you had to deal with Thomas the Train. I can't Miss Peggy. Just saying Chuchu just reminded me of when my boys were much younger. God help you in advance. Oh, Mr. Sanctuary, you have no clue what you're into. It got it to the obsession with Thomas the Train. I think there was Peter, there was James. Even the obsession with Thomas the Train, Thomas and Friends, to the point of we literally had Thomas the Train toy chest. It was not even funny. We had a toy chest, Thomas the Train. It was everything, Legos, it's everything. It was. And we got fail. What fair water call from in the collection, Mommy the Train, but it was. I'm telling you what. By the time I was moving from my old house to this house, I had to give it out, and so they were much older. Well, we moved here 4 years ago, so TJ was 9. But at that time he was done with trains. So by I had to do give a lot of things out, and we did a yard sale. And someone literally, I wasn't going to do Mommy the Train. I'm telling you, I wasn't going to separate it. So all the Thomas the Train and Friends and Village and Train Station and Mr. There was one Captain. I just put everything in that toy. Like whoever wants to get it has to buy it. No, it was you were going to take this as is or leave it alone. I was just going to give it away. It was not funny. That was my life. When I was a stay-at-home mom. Oh Lord Jesus. But anyway, welcome in everybody. Come on in, as Miss Anna Sanctuary would say. Coming into the most positive immigration platform in social media space. One consignment. It was all or nothing. To the most positive immigration space on social media platforms. There we go. Safest place to celebrate wins and ask questions about new policies on immigration. Still now he's 14 years old. I want to give up, but I can't place with this stuff. It's almost like I'm telling you. Oh, really? A Facebook, a client of yours talking bad about you. Please, what's the client's name? I would like to know, and I hope you were able to stand up for me. You can't please everybody. Now you caught my attention. What's the client's name? or their initial at least. I don't know. It has to be a former client or someone I fired. So that's okay. Thank you, Miss Peggy. So I'm telling you, sometimes the train thing is hey, listen, that's okay. Listen, you win some, you lose some. I just fired a VAR client yesterday. So obviously some people are going to do that. My reputation speaks for itself, but that's okay. But anyway, so Thomas and friends, you guys, if you have sons, you have to try it. Keep in mind you're going to be hooked. But anyway, welcome into the most positive immigration platform. As you oh, I know the person you're talking about. I just fired her yesterday. I know the person you're talking about. Yeah, I just fired her yesterday. So yeah, I can know exactly who you're talking about. The more reasons why she had to be fired. Yeah, I just fired her yesterday. It's when you're a client of, and so let me just address that real quick. So this is someone who has consistently failed to make their payments. And the way we work is a lot of attorneys will not even offer you a payment plan. But to be fair and to make things work for a lot of clients, we offer payment plan, and we don't even, so some attorneys who would offer you payment plan will charge you interest. I don't do that. The least you can do as a client is to make sure that you keep up with your payment, right? This person has consistently failed to make their payment. And yes, thank God. I know exactly who you're talking about. And I would not say her name, but I know who you're talking about. She has consistently failed to make a payment. We sent her case out since December of last year. This will be the third payment that she failed to make. And every single time there's a failed payment, the way it is set up is I am charged a penalty by the credit card company. I never even pass that to the client. And so we gave her a warning that if that happened again, she was going to be automatically terminated. It's even in the contract that she signed. So that's it. That was actually a blessing to get rid of that client. So let her keep going. And if she gets to the point where she wants to get herself into defamation, then I will file a lawsuit against her. Listen, I don't care about what is right, because I know what I've done and I help a lot of people. So if you want to do that, I'll take your ass to court. Very simple. But anyway, if you're just joining us for the first time, we do this every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, Alabama time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. Anywhere else you are, that's in you. But please share, follow, subscribe, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at Olaleye Immigration. Let me tell you something. So I think it was on Friday that, was it Friday? Yes. I had a consultation with a lady on Friday, and she had a 1 hour consultation with me. She first started out by saying that I have no clue how much this live sessions help people. And that she sent one of my videos to her brother. He went through all our YouTube videos, and he was able to actually respond to a notice of intent to deny that he received based on watching my YouTube videos. I'm not saying, listen, I'm an attorney. I'm not going to tell you that, hey, sit down with the videos and not hire an attorney. But that's basically just to say how much these videos actually help people. So he was able to get videos and went through, I can't remember what exactly, but regarding a marriage-based case, went through step by step how I explained it. And she was able to share that on Friday. I think it was on Thursday, his case was approved. My point is this: you never know who's going to benefit from these videos. This is like, it's a commitment. It's a passion really for me. So this is my version of free consultation. Please share, subscribe, follow, like. Will be that will be very much appreciated, because you never know who you're going to bless, and that information is going to bless someone. Not everybody can afford legal fees, and that's understandable, right? So that's just basically what we would ask that you do. Shako, I'm Bebeni. So at Olaleye Immigration, Same username on all platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Let's talk immigration. If you need to contact our office, 334-341-4475. Visit our website at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. We would very much appreciate that. Hey, Mr. Maji, what's going on? Okay, let's talk immigration. What are we talking about tonight? Let's talk about, because we get so many questions. So if you are joining us for the first time, please understand there's a system to which we work, right? I get to questions at the end of a topic. Sometimes we do questions all night. Sometimes, most of the time, we talk about something and then get questions. Please do not repeat questions. Do not put more than repeat questions in the comment section. If you repeat your questions, I'm going to skip over the questions. So please be mindful of that. And please don't put any text like, she questions, then she be, aren't you going to answer the questions? I do that at the end. Please exercise patience. That would be very, very appreciated. Okay. Let's talk about interview, to schedule or not to schedule. Interview, to schedule or not to schedule. Let's see. Hold on 1 second, TikTok. Okay. Interview, to schedule or not to schedule. What we're seeing quite a bit of now is USCIS, especially given the fact that there is an election month in the season. We had election year. There's election coming up in, under 4 months. USCIS is doing all they can, or 5 months. USCIS is doing all they can to waive as many interviews as possible. And they're also scheduling citizenship interviews quickly. They're trying to get as many people to become citizens before election day comes around. And so that is what we're seeing. We're seeing an uptick in interviews being waived. We're seeing an uptick in, filing for citizenship. And 2-3 months after people are scheduled for citizenship, some field offices are actually offering or doing same day interview and oath ceremony. We want to talk about this evening about your green card interview, whether or not USCIS, or what factors USCIS will consider whether to schedule an interview or not. So let's start by, if you are going to, you have a marriage-based case and you're wondering, okay, are they going to schedule an interview for my case? Why is it that some people's cases are being waived interviews and some have to get interviewed? These are some, not all, some of the factors that USCIS has to consider to determine whether or not it is warranted to have an interview in your marriage-based case. So first things first, if you are someone who has used multiple names, so say, for instance, you were in a relationship before, like you had previously gotten married, that case did not work, or you filed for asylum or any kind of immigration benefit, and you had filed one before and you used a different name, or you claimed to be a different age, or you claimed to be from a different country, then you now file a new case, USCIS is going to call you for an interview, because then they're trying to confirm your identity. If you use the last name and it's different from what you previously used, or you use a different alien number and compared to your marriage-based case, that's an indicator that USCIS may call you in. Keep in mind, though, the factors of scheduling marriage-based interviews has to do with one question. Is this case one that the service center is able to just issue a request for evidence and get the information they need? Or if it's not possible to get that information through a request for evidence, then they're going to refer your case to the field office that has jurisdiction over your marriage-based case. That's usually how the system works behind the scene. So that's why if you get a notice of or a request for evidence, you file an I-130, you file a combo I-485, you get a request for evidence. For the most part, once you get that, before an interview is scheduled, you would notice that the response address, meaning the mailing address to send your response to, is usually the National Benefit Center. Hardly is it at a field office. This is before you're scheduled for an interview. If you're getting a request for evidence, say, for instance, additional good faith evidence, and you send that in, there's a higher probability that they're going to waive the interview in your case and actually approve your case rather than schedule an interview. If you're not getting a request for evidence and you sent in, some sufficient evidence, and USCIS does not send your request for evidence, then they consider these factors. And one more thing, if you send in insufficient evidence and there's nothing else that's going to border on inadmissibility, they may send your request for evidence and see if that satisfies the evidence criteria. And if so, then they can waive an interview. So number one, confirming your identity. Number two, to see if there is any reason or if there's an indicator of fraud in your case. So say, for instance, you are getting married for the second time. Someone had filed for you in the past, and USCIS had indicated in that case that they didn't think it was a bona fide marriage. They had reason to believe that it was a sham marriage, and they send your notice of intent to deny. You withdraw that petition, and then you remarry somebody else, and then you submit a new application. The fact that you withdrew that first application or petition does not mean that USCIS had not made a conclusion in that case. So you now filing a second petition application actually is going to give them a reason to now decide to bring you in, because they may have suspected that initial marriage was a fraudulent marriage. So that's factor number two. Number three, if it's unclear how you came into the country, whether, because that goes back to number one. If your identity is questionable, and maybe you use a different name on your I-94, or your passport has a different name, and then you are submitting an I-94 or a different kind of document that doesn't tally with what your initial passport said, that's another indicator that they may have you come in for an interview. Now, another factor is if you've got what we call Class A medical conditions. So basically, a Class A medical condition example would be you've got a psychological problem that is going to that gives them reason to believe that you're going to be someone who's dangerous to society. You've got a Class A medical condition that they require that you have vaccines, and if you do not, then it may be a concern for them. They have to bring you in to have questions and whatever, other. So basically, if there's any inadmissibility issues when it comes to medical conditions, they can bring you in for an interview. So we've talked about fraud. We've talked about medical conditions. If you pose any concerns about national security, if you've been in any kind of organization and USCIS believes that there's a reason to bring you in and question you, you have you were part of a like extremist group, and you're no longer part of that group. Those are reasons that they may think, or those are factors that may border on national security, national concern, that would make them bring you, because those are things that a request for evidence is not going to satisfy. Request for evidence basically is you're writing a cover letter, you're sending the evidence. They're not able to actually question you. Point of the interview is they want an opportunity to have, face to face with you and ask you those questions that the service center through paperwork is not going to be able to have the answers and make a decision on your case. So that's that. So let's see. We've talked about identity of the applicant, the manner of entry, if there's been fraud concerns in your previous case, or even in the current case, if they have a reason to think that there's fraudulent concerns in your current case. Let's see. And so they've talked about it, your alien number not being correct, medical issues, vaccination issues, and basically if there's any reason why they believe that they have to bring you in. And I'll give you an example. If you come in, if there's misrepresentation, that's the final factor. Let's say you come in on an F1 visa, right? You're telling them you're coming to school, you want to come study in school. And you get to the United States, you do not attend school at all. You don't have a viable, a reasonable explanation for not attending school. And you get to the United States, so for instance, your F1 visa stamp says you're going to school in Indiana. You're coming through New York, you didn't step foot in Indiana at all. You didn't contact the school. You didn't pay tuition, nothing about deferring, maybe because you couldn't pay and all that. And then within 6 months or thereabouts, you get married, you file paperwork. USCIS is that for them, that for USCIS, that's an indicator of marriage. That's an indicator of misrepresentation of your F1 visa, because they're seeing that as you told them you were coming to the United States to go to school, but as soon as you came in, you did not go to school. You didn't fulfill the requirements of that visa. That will be a reason for them. If you now file a marriage-based case, that's going to be a reason for USCIS to decide that they want to bring you in rather than waive an interview in your case. So factors the USCIS will consider to decide whether or not to have an interview in your case: to confirm your identity, your manner of entry into the United States, to see if you've got any, one more thing, any criminal inadmissibility. Not every criminal offense is going to make you inadmissible. There are some offenses that are going to have the petty offense exemption. Those are things that even if you never went to jail, even if it's probation, you were never sentenced by the court to more than 6 months. It was a petty offense, the shoplifting, simple assault, things that fall within the petty offense exemption. Anything else that borders on crime involving moral turpitude or aggravated felony is going to be a reason for them to bring you in for an interview. When USCIS has fraud concerns, when USCIS has misrepresentation concerns, if you have a Class A medical condition, anything that, if they send you a request for evidence cannot fully address, will be factors. So in addition to these factors, anything that the RFE cannot fully address will be factors that USCIS would consider and decide to bring you in for an interview. So, and the manual cases lawyer, that's basically what happens in that situation. So just so you know, and that is just basically for marriage-based cases. This doesn't have to do with like VAWA-related cases and all, because there's no interview in the VAWA case. The only time you get in a schedule for an interview when it has to do with the VAWA case really will also strictly border on admissibility issues. And especially for those who have had previous cases filed before, if that happens, then for the most part, they will bring you in if there's something that they have to address. So that's why I tell people, the fact that you now switch over to a VAWA case does not necessarily mean that you're not going to have to deal with the issues in a previously filed marriage-based case, and just because you found a VAWA case. So the more you know. Right, people? Okay, so let's get to questions. Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to get to your question. Just hold on. Okay. Hello, Miss Martha. How are you? Hello, Miss Christiana. How are you doing? Thanks for the beautiful words. Yeah, these are the kind of clients that I like to keep. Thank you, Miss Christiana. How are the kids doing? Okay, let's see. All right, disclaimer. Questions, answers to questions are general information, nothing specific to anybody's case. Please do not repeat your questions. Please do not repeat your questions. Thank you. And the funny thing is, MTV, she still sent me an email this morning pleading that please don't terminate your services on my case. I need you, but now I've already given too many. So exactly, and that was what she said. She put in the Facebook group is exactly what she said. You're like, but it wasn't. You changed it from 28 to 29. No, I didn't change it. It's what it is. You just failed to keep your payment and. So you would even think you want to even change your narrative when you go to, yeah. But then there's some people you have to get rid of, and they're really a blessing in disguise. That's one of those clients. Oh, she posted a picture of the contract. Oh, that's good. Isn't that a smart person? What were people actually responding to her? Like, what were people? That is someone interesting. Yeah. And I'm hoping that she posted the part where it says that if you failure for you to comply with the terms of your contract is going to mean immediate termination. And that's the reason why a lot of my colleagues do not offer payment plan. And if you're someone who's even going to make a big deal, please make sure you have history. Yeah, because she terminated terminated representation yesterday. Please do send it to our Instagram or send it to our WhatsApp. Lydia will be able to get. And that part is in red. Exactly. It's in red. And so if you're given two times before, and I have to pay penalty for your failed payment, and you're not doing it again, you are gone. So let her put it everywhere. And she's playing with a defamation lawsuit. That's what she's playing with. So whoever knows her, let her know that whatever it is, she's playing with a defamation lawsuit, and she would not be able to pay for it. Because I'm very nice, but terminated representation. Yeah. Hello, Mr. Kobina. How are you? Okay. General information to your questions. So please do not repeat questions. Removal case dismissed since March 2024, and the order has been sent to immigration, but they are yet to respond. I heard it takes 45 days for them to respond, but I haven't heard anything from them. When you say removal case has been dismissed and sent to immigration, Ms. Baylor, so your case is still pending? Thank you, Mr. Arikoya. Oh, wow. I think your case. Good evening, Miss Pinky. How are you? How are you enjoying your green card status? Oh, wow. Oh, that reminds me. MTV. I think she's. So that's why, because this morning we got, my assistant was telling me someone left us a 1-star review. That person is not a client of ours. So that makes sense. It looks like, whoever a click is, she got them riled up and all that. So the person has never been a client of ours and all that. And people don't understand that when you do fake reviews on Google, you can actually be sued for that. So whoever it is, let her know, and her clique, they're playing with a lawsuit, and I don't play with my reputation. So that makes sense now. And if you're going to even make a big deal out of something, you better make sure you're paying your legal fees. Yeah. Okay. So remind me again, I think you have a lawyer on your case, right? Miss Bill, I think you have a lawyer on your case. So when you say they haven't done anything, you mean that you have sent the dismissal order to your case is pending in the field office, and you're still waiting on the field office to not approve the green card? Is that what, or to reopen your case? And I've done. You mean you've done, because you said you put don't. Let me request, and I hope they don't ask me to do another one. If it was just done a year ago, you're still fine. But anything that was done after November 2023 does not expire anymore. Well, it's not automatic. The fact that you have now sent it to the field office, you sent the medical. What you can do is you can contact. Just let your lawyer know what you're doing, because that's usually what I request. Let your lawyer know you want to contact a congressperson or senator in your state, and for them to help you look into that and assist you with that. Yeah. What does it mean when USCIS says your I-485 has been transferred to another office that has jurisdiction over your case? That's basically, Mr. Kobina, that in your case, that relates because your VAWA case has been approved. When you have your VAWA case approved, USCIS, the Vermont Service Center, is done with they're done with their own part of your VAWA case. Even though everything is filed at the same time concurrently, especially when you're married to a citizen, or even married to a green card holder, everything is adjudicated by the VAWA office. When the VAWA petition has not been approved, they would forward your file to the field office. They'll forward your file to the National Benefit Center. So the VAL has been approved, and enough for your file there, because that is the hub, quote unquote, the hub for adjustment of status applications. So once it gets to that hub, National Benefit Center will now look through your file. They will decide, okay, is there anything in this file that requires us to now send it to the field office for them to now make to schedule an interview. If there's nothing in your file that makes them believe an interview is required, then usually the National Benefit Center themselves will send you an RFI, say, for instance, for your medical or whatever the case may be, and for you to schedule to send that in. Now, there are some jurisdictions in a VAR case that will require you to send in what we call an I-864W. That is basically, saying that you're exempt from affidavit of support because you're a VAR petitioner. I see it mostly in the up north and west coast field offices, and most other field offices don't do that. So basically, that's basically what that means. I hope that helps. Okay. Yes, please subscribe to YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All that would be very much appreciated. Okay, let's see. Positive vibe. Hello from WA. That's Washington State, right? What is the price of consulting? So we've got 3 options: 30 minutes, 140, 45 minutes, 210, 1 hour, 250. Oh, thank you, Miss Mackie. Major soft. I'm doing well. How about yourself? Anything about how long a case takes, please go on USCIS.gov/processing time to get information on that. My friend was, okay. Remigio, I was just about to read your question, but I see that you put your question like 10 times. So that's going to be passed. All right, next question. My fiance is 3 months late for his interview. I found the email in my junk mail. What should we do? Sit down with the lawyer to discuss what your options are. I'm a green card holder, but I'm going through a divorce. Is it okay to file for citizenship? Depends on what you call, if you've had your green card for 5 years. So basically you're not going to, if you're going through a divorce, then you're no longer married or union. That means that you're going to have to now file based on 5 years as a legal permanent resident. 5 years, and then that's going to be your qualification grant, not 3 years. Okay. Remigio, I'm sure I've said it several times. Do not repeat questions, and you put your question at least 15 times. Wow. Can a green card holder who is married to a U.S. citizen apply for naturalization less than 3 years? No. Let's see. Can a citizen pastor file for a sanctuary worker that has overstayed his visa? So I always tell people, a petition by itself, like an online petition, that's the petition. A petition is a standalone petition, immigration benefit. The question really is, are you able to now get an immigration, a legal status based on the filing of that petition? And in your case, if you've overstayed, that's, the only thing what you're talking about is going to fall under employment route. Once you've overstayed more than 180 days, it doesn't matter whether or not you have an approved petition, you can get a green card in the country. You can't get a non-immigrant visa, religious worker visa in the country either. You're welcome. Okay, let's see. What can happen if your spouse withdraws your petition? USCIS would deny your case. But if you're going through a situation where your spouse is going to withdraw your petition or has withdrawn your petition, then you want to be able to you want to consult with an immigration attorney, making sure that it's not like if you have an option, what's your alternative? By the time someone gets to the point of withdrawing your petition, for the most part, they are you've had to deal with some kind of abuse or some kind of cruel behavior from them, because people who are great with you guys in a great relationship just don't wake up and say, I'm going to withdraw a petition. Something must have led to that. If you've had that, then it's time for you to sit down with the lawyer and see if you qualify for a VAWA case. Can my partner petition K1 for me after 2 years of meeting? You have to meet an exemption. Say, for instance, your culture doesn't allow you to meet, or some religious reasons, or your petitioning fiance is incapable of traveling. It's got to fall within an exemption. If you don't have any grounds that fall within an exemption, no, you have to meet again before you file. Can I apply for parole while my asylum is yet to be approved? Asylum applicants can apply for advanced parole in very specific circumstances. It's got to be a humanitarian basis, medical reasons, family emergency. You just can't say, okay, I want to travel out to visit friends in Canada. No, you can't. So unlike someone who has a marriage-based case, you can't do that if you've got an asylum case. So you can, as long as you have your reasons for applying for advanced parole falls within one of those grounds. Okay. Excellence 47. Your question is repeated like 4 times, so it's going to be passed. Thank you, Ms. Mikey. I'm not really sure why. Anyway. As a U.S. citizen, cannot file for my niece. There is no category for nieces or nephews, but in situations where you may be able to petition or adopt that niece or nephew, if you qualify either through family-based adoption petition or orphan petition, depending on as a citizen, only citizens qualify for orphan petition, so you may be able to do that. I got a notice of intent to deny. I need help submitting a strong evidence. Blossom Bay, we can review your NOID and see if it's something we can help you with. If you contact my office, 334-341-4475, we may be able to help you with responding depending on it depends on what it is, if there are no issues that may be difficult to tackle. But that will be the first step to take. You will have to schedule a consultation so I can review your case, review the notice you got, and then ask you questions and see what evidence you may have depending on what it is that is the issue you're claiming. Okay. Hello, Ghanaian wife. How are you? Let's see. Okay. My husband filed my paperwork 2 years after we have been married without two. After we've been married without two. After filing. My husband filed my paperwork 2 years after we have been married. Okay. Your question is very confusing, Chanel. If you and move out 3 days after I give birth to a second child, what can I do? The first thing I would tell you for sure is to sit down with the lawyer. If he filed your paperwork and it's still pending, you don't have anything from it. You want to discuss why he moved out, what has been going on in the marriage, why he left you after just having a newborn. That's something you want to discuss with a lawyer. Can one go to Canada with advanced parole? Generally, you can. And Miss Christina, because you're my client, so I can tell you that. But I always say that before you leave the country, just make sure that I know. So I'm on notice that you are leaving. Can parole in place work for someone who entered legally into the U.S.? Her daughter is a U.S. citizen serving the Air Force who wants to file for her father. Miss Murtha, if you're asking if someone who is the mother or father parent of a U.S. Citizen who is also in the military, can they apply for parole in place? The short answer to that is yes. Disclaimer, general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. Generally, they can, because there's actually, even before this new Biden parole in place, which is now being extended to spouses of citizens, USCIS has had the military parole in place where parents have been able to apply for that. It's been 178 days now since I filed for VA-based work authorization. Up to now, I haven't gotten a response from them. Your case is probably still within normal processing time. Anything about processing time, please go on uscis.gov/processing time, and then that will tell you exactly what you need to, what you're looking at. USCIS controls their processing time. That's number one. Number two, make sure, and I'm just using your other name, Tyrese. Make sure that what you even indicated, because you said VAWA-based EAD is a C31, VAWA category EAD is C31. That's the only VAWA-based work permit. While your VAWA case is pending and you want to be able to work, then you file a C9 category. It's not based on your VAWA petition. It's based on the fact that you're filing an I-485 application. That's the basis of you filing, of you being able to apply for that. So just so you're clear on that, and then make sure that what you selected, since it looks like your VAWA is still pending, that what you selected is a C9, not a C31. If you selected a C31, then you're not going to get that until the VAWA case is approved. So in verbally abusing my children, and he withheld filing a paper being threatened to divorce him for 2 weeks after he filed. It's time to sit down with the immigration attorney, Ms. Chanel, and see if you qualify for VAWA. There's no reason to continue life like that way, especially when you have other kids, you have a newborn. Absolutely no reason to leave like that. Yeah. You're welcome, Therese. Okay, let's go to Instagram. If you're still waiting, that this is time for you to, because you never know. It's someone who's going to just up and go. And that's what I was saying earlier on, someone who said their spouse withdrew their petition. Those are things that lead to that. That's usually why I do consultation, and because I'm thorough and I would ask questions. Sometimes my questions make you uncomfortable, but it's the point is to be able to help you. And that, there's always something leading up to when the person now decides to withdraw that petition. It just is not something that happens overnight. I cannot believe we're ending your birthday. It's gonna be birthday behavior starting Thursday. So August, y'all mark your calendars. Name animals off for you. August 21 is going to be chapter 46. Lord have mercy. God willing, Akbar alone. August 21. So I'm still thinking what we're going to do for the month of August. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Hello, finest Shandy. Inshallah, yellow. So people are interested. So someone sent my assistant let's see. But it comes with the territory though. I mean, this is the work that I do. And if you're out there, you're gonna have one of those, people. Someone sent my assistant a message saying that, can you tell her to stop speaking Yoruba language during her lives? Because now that's not professional. And then because when they mentioned, they tagged, or they said every time she calls out finance Shandy, she's always speaking Yoruba language. That's not professional. Ṣàlàáfíà lẹ wà finance Shandy. Àwọn ilé ńkọ́, àwọn family ńkọ́, hubby ńkọ́, baby girl mi ńkọ́. Yeah. Okay. When can you apply for citizenship after you get your 10 years green card? Depending on the basis that, depending on how you got your 10 years green card. So if you got it based on marriage and you're still married to the US citizen, then, and you're still married in union in 3 years. If you got it based on VA, whether or not you're still married to the person after 3 years since you get. Now, this is one confusion a lot of people have. Your calculation of when you become eligible for citizenship has nothing to do with the date you got married. It's not you being married to a citizen for 3 years or being married to a citizen for 5 years. The length of your marriage has nothing to do with when the calculation starts date. Your calculation start date for citizenship is on your green card. It says resident since. That resident since date is where you start to calculate when you can file for citizenship. Where your marriage comes into play is to now determine if you qualify to file for citizenship based on 3 years. And that means you have to show that you've been in a green card holder for 3. That's the very first thing. You've got to have that green card for 3 years. You can file 90 days before the 3rd year anniversary. It's not so if you've been married, let's say you get your green card last year, June 2023. Your marriage is now 3 years, June 2024. You do not qualify to file for citizenship just because you've been married for 3 years. No, because as based on that calculation or the example, you've only had your green card for 1 year. You still have to wait another 2 years till you've had that green card for 3 years before you can now claim that you're filing based on marriage to a U.S. citizen. And so it has nothing to do with how long you've been married. It's just from, so if you're basing it, you're filing based on marriage to a U.S. citizen 3 years from when you got your green card, 90 days before the 3rd year anniversary, as long as you're still in marital union with the person. If you're filing based on VAWA, it doesn't matter whether you're still married or not, and it doesn't matter you've been in marital union, you qualify for 3 years. Every other person, and then if you join the military, you can file your citizenship. You don't even have to. For those who are in the military, even if you have a conditional green card, you don't even have to file an I-751. You bypass that as someone in the military. Every other person, you have to have your green card 5 years before you can file for citizenship. File 90 days before the 5th year anniversary. Inspired by follow-up. Your videos has helped me a lot. It's from your live. I realized had the wrong divorce papers from my ex. You're welcome. That's what it's all about. I did the same because I have a sister planning to come with the family, so I shared with her. She may pick something she needs, so let's keep sharing. Thank you. Please share. Let's drown the negativity. And if you're a client of mine, you don't pay my fees, I will terminate your representation. Very simple. If you don't pay your car notes, they will repossess your car. So I think people, and that's why, and truth be told, that's why some people are very, very. Oh, Miss Abina, just an FYI, she's Ghanaian. Nothing against Ghana people, just saying. Nothing against Mr. Covenant because y'all have been, but she's Ghanaian. I don't know if that's how y'all do in Ghana, but that's why sometimes you just have to. That was someone that I was very hesitant to help, and it was almost like, and we rushed her case because there was a lot of factors. And when you've been given two opportunities, and I have to pay for you failing, and you don't think that there's going to be consequences, no, that's you're wasting my time. So, yeah. If you're a Nigerian male, just work with a 10-year-old. In fact, just work with her anyway, even if you're not. Mr. Magic, what do you want? Hey, Mama, my mom is on. Y'all say hello to my mom. I did 63. Thank you. We talked about green card interviews, factors to be considered, interview to schedule or not to schedule. Took me 7 years. Yeah. I can't even tell you how many times I've had to file a 601 waiver for people who came in on F1. Because a lot of people think, okay, you got a visa, you come in, you don't even, I would say at least attend school maybe for the first week, something. If not, they're going to, you're going to be, have the allegation of misrepresentation, and you're going to be dealing with having to now prove hardship to your qualifying relative and all that. Hello, Miss Ola, how are you? I'm making sauce for you. Okay. MTB05 334-341-4475. 334 is the same office number. 334-341-4475. Oh, thank you, Miss Under Sanctuary. Ordinary work permit I have. I've been feeling like it is not. It's good to feel like it. Don't ever say you are when you're not. That social security number takes you far. I'm telling you, people don't understand. Some people will get work authorized and say, what's the big deal? If you have never, I can never forget in 2003, when I first got my social security number, 21 years ago. You would have thought I won the visa lottery. And there's some things in life you just never forget. That was one incident I've never forgotten, So it's life changing. It's really life changing. I went to license office and gave my sister like a okay, Mr. Magic. Okay. Yeah. Hello, Mr. Prince. How are you? I just jumped on something. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I don't know what happened. That oh, we're almost out of time. Okay, that's where I stopped. Our friend question canceled. What is your opinion on FGM for asylum? Um, that's a very broad question. What do you mean? What's your opinion for FGM? Do you qualify for FGM? Is that something that happens in your family? Is that going to be, if that's your base for persecution? Do you have evidence to support that? Right? Your friend, but your friend is a zeal for me. Overzealous friends. I don't know. My case been over 2 years. My I-485 and work permit were denied, but the I-130 is still pending and no decision. What can I do? I-485 and work permit was denied. I-130 still. Why was that denied? On what basis? What you can do, telex official, is schedule a consultation and talk to an attorney. That's what the first step you can take. Can a VA candidate divorce his spouse? General information, I can't tell you to divorce, not to divorce, but you're not as a VA petitioner, you're not required to stay married to your spouse. After VA approval, what next? Your green card approval, your green card adjudication. That's next. Ordinary, how are you? I asked will be skewed. Yes, it will be. Can we visit Canada together soon? Yes. Oh, for birthday. That's gonna be a tight one though. It text me. It text me. Yeah, that would be nice though. Can I-485 be approved at NBC, or do they always have to be approved at the field office? The interview was waived. That's exactly what we talked about today, so you may want to just watch this video. Hello, Epic Movements. How are you? Pack your baggage. Thorough with her question. Thank you. When can you marry another person when you have a VA petition open? When your VA petition has been approved. If you marry while your VA petition is still pending, then your VA case is automatically terminated. And Epic Movement is also going. Epic Movement's birthday is on the 21st, August 21st. Yay, Epic! We gotta go to maybe okay. So if not Canada, maybe the Bahamas. I loved when I went to the Bahamas in March. Gotta go. You make me smile when you speak here about. Thank you. Is it normal for a VA with 30 months still pending? Absolutely. Right now, they're averaging 40 months. Miss Peggy, will August be good dance? Yeah. Y'all give me ideas what we should do as celebration for the month of August. Happy birthday. Thank you. I'm telling you, the people will always find something to say. That's okay. Didn't they mention the pepper? Fine is exactly. And the lady is fine. Thank God Ms. Obena is no longer Ghanaian. Timmy. Oh my God. She has given us families here, respective of country, tribes, and culture. Well, oh, thank you. Kim in 2021, myself, husband, and 3 kids as permanent residents. My husband passed. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. 2 months after we came in. I and the kids got our green card a few months after. When can we file for citizenship? It will depend on the basis of your green card. But sorry to hear about the passing of your husband. Okay. Yeah, it's some of my clients actually have their kids started school already. But anyway, okay, people, I think that's all we can take tonight. Say hi to Mo. Mo. Miss Martha says hello. I would like to know if they approve your VAWA case or deny it. Does it take the same time to know? Absolutely, because you. I mean, that's the whole point of them processing your case. Okay, let's see. Okay. I have a friend. Y'all just have friends that just share a whole lot with you. I have a friend who has been married for 4 years. He's been waiting for his green card 4 years. He just got his 10 years green card. Can he apply for citizenship now? If he just got it, why? How is he going to? I just explained that. Tell your friend that if your friend just got the green card, your friend has to satisfy either the 3 year period or the 5 years, or your friend joins the military. So let your friend know that there is a waiting period to do that. But anyway, thank you. Is paying $260 a new thing for ICE? You mean 765? Well, it is regularly $520 now. But if you're submitting it with your I-45 and you're paying filing fees in I-45, then you pay $260 for this I-765. If you're not filing concurrently with the 485, then you're paying $520. That's basically what it is. I have a friend line, which is not another friend line. But anyway, so I think we'll try maybe on Thursday, we'll try to do questions. I'll see if there's nothing, no updates. So for those, just a real quick one, H-1B registrants, USCIS is going to be conducting another round of selection. So hopefully, fingers crossed, so many people didn't get selected. I have some cases that we were hoping they would get selected this time around. Just so you know, H-1B is basically a visa that your employer files for you, and to be able to work for 3-year increments, and you can actually go past that depending on the circumstances. But anyway, listen, y'all, when we started July, we spoke into existence, and we manifested that God was going to give us grace. He was going to give us favor, that he was going to show us mercy. We manifested wins, we manifested approvals. God showed himself, true this month. We cannot deny that indeed July has favored us. Even if you got denials in July, it is a reminder that, okay, it's not over, because if your case has not been approved, that is indication that God is not done with you yet. So, go through the motions, go through, have the feelings and let it be, and then regroup, recharge, and say what's next. The fact that we still have months to come this year is indication that God still has time to do what he has promised to do. And he doesn't need a whole month, a whole year. God is the God of the suddenly. He will do it just like that. So as we end this month that we're thankful for, and for those that didn't get the news that they wanted, we still would celebrate with you at the appointed time. We go into August and speaking it into existence that August will be better than any of the months we've had so far this year. God's favor will continue to come to abide and to come true for us, and breakthroughs would not be foreigners to us. Overflowing grace will be our shadow in August, and we would always know. It will be clear that indeed God has not forgotten anyone. Because that's one phrase I always like to say. So just remember that indeed there's no one that God has forgotten. We're going to keep believing and trusting that which he has started, if God starts it, he's going to complete it. We don't know how long it's going to take. Some people's breakthroughs are just like that. Some of us have to go through a process, not because he wants to put us through torture, but it's for us to know without any shadow of a doubt that indeed it was no man's power. It was solely the grace of God. It was solely the grace of God. And so as long as we keep our eyes focused on him, we can never fail. We can never be disappointed. He would always fight our battles, and he would always speak on our behalf. So just keep believing. August is going to be better than any of our months this year so far, and we'll keep celebrating. And just hold on. God is not done with you yet. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Have